say, I can't say. Just tell me what you want. Chair, please. Let's see.
went to Howard. How was it? Why'd you go to Howard? Oh yeah, so you think Howard's big? Well, we're gonna have you out at my school. How was it? What did you think? It is not scary. It's like it's a square. Wait, who are you? Okay, when you got your
Ori is opposed to the microphone use for this kind of gathering us together. I'm sorry, Ori. I know. You were trying really hard. I was trying hard too, but so I'm just gonna orient you to a moment for the service. Ori Salzberg is our spiritual music innovator, is his title. And he's going to help lead us into an experience and prayer. And the truth is that our congregation is a congregation that has a lot of chattiness, and we're really generally pretty open to having a pretty chatty room. Since this is a crowd tonight of people who mostly don't know the order of the services and the melodies that we're going to do, it could feel a little foreign sometimes to be in an unfamiliar space. So I just want to invite you to take a deep breath. To hear the sound of the guitar. And to begin to settle in to an experience of prayer and allow the words of our tradition, the melodies to wash over you if they're new to you. Feel free to hum along and join if you like. And I'll let you begin, Ori.
Shabbat Shalom. Oh, I think you can hear me, can't you? I've never been accused of being quiet and demure. So I'm going to put a disclaimer on my words. The rabbi has not reviewed them. But he has promised, regardless of what I say, that he'll let me back in shul. So tonight, I have the privilege of giving a Devar Torah on this week's Parsha, Va'era. I appeared. I have found a new respect for Rabbi Kamen, and you can tell Rabbi Helfand this too, since preparing for this. I found it extremely challenging. I actually think it was easier doing it for my bat mitzvah all those years ago when my mind was young and clear and I wasn't as tainted about certain aspects of life as I am now, but I'm going to give it a go. So to give you the cliff notes, hopefully some of you are old enough to understand that reference. The Parsha opens as God promises to redeem the enslaved Israelites and bring them to the Promised Land. When Pharaoh repeatedly refuses to let the Israelites go, God sends a series of plagues: water turning to blood, frogs, lice, wild animals, death of livestock, boils, and hail. Moses is the chief negotiator. God's controlling the situation. The Israelites are the skeptics, and Pharaoh is the bad guy, with complete disregard for the safety and well-being of his own people. Pretty clear plot line here. The Parsha is packed full of reoccurring themes in Judaism historically and present day. In addition to the plagues, there is negotiation, slavery, power, justice, inequity, resilience, and persistence. Your choice. Is it coincidence, serendipity, or besheret? That this is the story we read this week when 3 Israeli hostages were released by Hamas and we celebrated and honored the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. One of the first things I was struck by was how we see Moses, unsure of himself as he negotiates with Pharaoh, admitting he was tongue-tied, essentially being coached by God on how to handle the conversation with Pharaoh on behalf of the Israelites, and then having to deal with the Israelites pushing back when Moses conveys God's plan. Quote, "I will bring you into the land which I swore to give to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and I will give it to you for a possession, I, God." But not unexpected, they can't grasp this concept because their spirits have been crushed by cruel bondage. We're used to Moses being a macher, a big shot. So for him to admit that he was tongue-tied and that Pharaoh would not heed him and the Israelites would not listen to him, he obviously had to gain confidence and grow into his leadership position. But rest assured, he does, as we see in future Parsha. Since the plagues are quite prominent, it made me think of what I would consider modern-day plagues. This, of course, is my opinion and interpretation. And you know, they say when there are 2 Jews in a room, there are 3 opinions, so I can only imagine what this list may invoke. This information is the tip of the iceberg that I'm about to give you, although I'm not sure how much longer that saying will be relevant based on my first suggested plague: climate warming, global warming. The world is experiencing wildfires, extreme drought, intensive hurricanes and tornadoes, and the melting of the polar ice. Pandemic-type diseases, COVID, bird flu, monkeypox, the resurgence of HIV/AIDS. Food insecurity. 1 in 8 Georgians is considered food insecure according to the Atlanta Food Bank. And 47.4 million people in the United States are in households that struggle to put food on the table, according to the Food Research and Action Center. Hatred and prejudice. The recent Global 100 survey conducted by the Anti-Defamation League has revealed a disturbing truth. Anti-Semitism is not only persisting, but thriving in our modern world. With an estimated 2.2 billion adults worldwide harboring deeply ingrained anti-Semitic attitudes, we're facing a crisis that demands immediate attention and action. This alarming increase in anti-Semitism, more than doubling since ADL's first worldwide survey a decade ago. It's not just a Jewish problem. It's a human rights issue that threatens the fabric of our global society. The survey's findings paint a really bleak picture. Nearly half of the world's adult populations hold heightened levels of anti-Semitic beliefs, with younger generations displaying even higher rates of such sentiments. What's completely ironic and a local fact is that the building that you see when you enter university, our education building, at one time was the Georgia headquarters of the Ku Klux Klan. Talk about poetic justice. Human trafficking and modern slavery. In 2024, it's estimated there were 24,000 victims of human trafficking in the United States. 75% of those were female. 40% are considered minors. All 50 states report trafficking instances. Annually, human trafficking generates $150 billion, with a B, billion dollars globally. War, Israel, Ukraine, South Sudan, Democratic Republic of Congo. Oppression of women, access to health care, gender-based violence, autonomy over our own bodies. Gun violence. How many school shootings do there have to be to invoke more than, quote, thoughts and prayers? Wealth disparity. According to the Atlanta Wealth Building Initiative, white Atlanta households have a staggering 46 times more wealth than black households. The racial wealth gap is driven by things like home ownership, generational wealth transfers, debt, access to banking and capital, and business ownership. Genocide. The word genocide was first coined by Polish lawyer Raphael Lemkin in 1944 in his book, Axis Rule in Occupied Europe. It consists of the Greek prefix genos, meaning race or tribe, and the Latin suffix side, meaning killing. Lemkin developed the term partly in response to the Nazi policies of systemic murder of Jewish people during the Holocaust, but also in response to previous instances in history of targeted actions aimed at the destruction of particular groups of people. Abuse of power, no explanation needed. There is a clear delineation of the players in this parsha, and clearly Pharaoh is the bad guy who holds all the cards for the Israelites. If we consider the above list, there's no clear bad guy. Who do we negotiate or reason with to rectify any of these conditions? Possibilities are endless. Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, the Proud Boys, Aryan nations, underground criminal networks, international cartels. Could be your neighbor, your child's teacher, your coworker, an elected official, titans of industry, and many, many more. Can any of this ever be resolved? Perhaps, if we could work together for the greater good of all, we could create change. That is my hope. There was no outright resolution in this parsha. You need to stay tuned for the next episode. The Torah, the original drama series filled with every imaginable human emotion and condition. As Coretta Scott King said, struggle is a never-ending process. Freedom is never really won. You earn it and win it in every generation. Shabbat Shalom. Can I come back to show?
You can come back to show. Thank you very much. I love you. And that's what happens here every week. Every time that we have congregants speak, it's always a gift to hear their words of Torah, and I'm grateful for yours. But we will do something this week that we don't typically do. because you all are here, and it's important that I want to acknowledge every single person who is here tonight from all walks of life who have experienced this for the first time. You know, I wasn't kidding when I said like a very clear path for me at one point was to go the route of public service. I was a political science major in college, and the thing that I am always striving to do is how to make just a little bit more good in this world. And I do it in my way, and all the public servants do it in your own ways also. And I'm so, so grateful for all of you. And so what we typically do on Shabbat morning, every week on the morning service, is we offer a prayer for our country. Because this country, the United States of America, has been one of the best chapters in all of our long Jewish history. Being an American is such a privilege. And so many Jewish people are so proud to be American. And so we bless this country each and every week, and we bless you, our elected officials, each and every week. And I want you to know that it is one of my heartfelt prayers. And I want to invite you to join me in that prayer for yourselves, for your colleagues, for all elected officials in this country. It's in the Blue Book. It's just in the Blue Book. It doesn't need a transliteration because it's in English. And I want to invite you, it's on page 148. On the bottom of the left-hand side of the page in the Blue Book. And if you would, I'll invite you to rise and to join with me. Our God and God of our ancestors, we ask your blessings for our country, for its government, for its leaders and advisors, and for all who exercise just and rightful authority. Teach them insights from your Torah, that they may administer all affairs of state fairly, that peace and security, happiness and prosperity, justice and freedom may forever abide in our midst. Creator of all flesh, bless all the inhabitants of our country with your spirit. May citizens of all races and creeds forge a common bond in true harmony, to banish hatred and bigotry, and to safeguard the ideals and free institutions that are the pride and glory of our country. May this land, under your providence, be an influence for good throughout the world, uniting all people in peace and freedom, helping them to fulfill the vision of your prophet. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they experience war anymore. And let us say, Amen. And I'd like to offer one more prayer that we offer on Shabbat morning, because we are in a time of war. And since that day of October 7th, I and the people in my congregation and all Jewish people all over the world have been praying for our hostages to return home. And here to my right, to your left, there's a table that's set for Shabbat dinner. And on this table are 3 settings, one for each hostage directly connected to this congregation. 2 of those hostages, Hirsch Goldberg Poland and Omer Nutra, will not be returning home to their parents to have Shabbat dinner. And we have on their pictures a black ribbon, which is what we wear when we mourn. And one seat, Elkanah Bochbut, we are holding hope. Behind the table are 101 names. The names of when we made the poster, the hostages that were still in Gaza. And as of this week, we've started a new tradition, which is we're taking a yellow ribbon. I'll show it to you. You can find these ribbons all throughout Israel. Dave, Doron Steinbacher, and Emily Damari, and Romy Gonen. They're home having Shabbos with their families. And by the time that you all come next, which I hope is soon, I hope that each and every name has a yellow tag next to it. We're going to pray now one more prayer, the prayer that says in English, family, our brothers, our sisters, Achenu, Kol Beit Yisrael, the whole house of Israel. We're praying to move them from the narrow places, from the dark places to the wide open spaces, from slavery to freedom. Very, very quickly. It's in the very back cover of the Siddur that we placed there after we were singing it each week, and it doesn't appear in the prayer book. I hope to not have reason to sing this very soon. Achenu kol Beit Yisrael, Achenu kol Beit Yisrael, hanetunim b'tzara, b'tzara u'v'shivya, ha'omdim bein bayam u'bein bayabasham. Hamakom yirachem, yirachem alehem v'yotziem mitzara lirvacha u'me'afela le'ora u'meshibor le'gola hasha pagala u'vizman kariv. Turning now back to our regularly scheduled service. We're going to conclude our liturgy with the evening service, which you can find in the blue Siddur on page 28, and in the red Siddur, you can find it on page 30.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Ma'avir Yom U'Mevi Laila Mavdil Ben Yomei Laila Adonai Tzvaot Shemo Echad V'Kayam Tamid Yimoch Aleinu Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Tamari V'Ravim Avat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al ken Adonai Eloheinu B'shocheinu V'kumeinu Nasiach b'chukecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו אורך ימינו ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה יומם יעבדך תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. Page 30. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. אמת ואמונה כל סוד. Towards the bottom of 32. ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ובני ישראל לחנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם מי כמוך בעינים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נועמתי לא תוסף אליהם מלכותך ובניך בוקע ים לפני משה זה עניינו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך העולם ועד ונאמר כיפת אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל השכיבנו אדוני ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם מעיין ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת וינפש יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה ועמד והכירותי ועמיך מלכותי וחייכון וימיכון וחי לכל בית ישראל ועגלה בזמן קריב אמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם אמן ים יתברך וישתבח ויתבר ויתרומה ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי קודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן